The call came at 2 in the morning. Mom's number flashing on my screen. I almost didn't answer. We hadn't spoken in 8 months. Not since my sister's wedding, where I wasn't asked to be in the bridal party. Where I sat in the back row like a distant cousin instead of the bride's only sibling. But something made me pick up. Lily. Mom's voice was frantic. Desperate. We need you. It's Sophia. She's sick. Really sick. She needs a kidney transplant and you're the only match. Please. You have to help her. I sat up in bed. My heart pounding. What? Sophia has kidney failure. She's been on dialysis for 3 months. We didn't tell you because she paused. Because we never tell you anything. Because you don't matter. Because we didn't want to worry you. But now she needs a transplant urgently. You're her sister. You're a match. You have to donate. Have to. Not would you consider. Not we're asking. Have to. Like I owed them. Like after 28 years of being the invisible daughter, the one who didn't measure up, the one they forgot to invite to family dinners, I suddenly had an obligation. I need to think about it, I said. Think about it? Mom's voice rose to a shriek. Your sister is dying. There's nothing to think about. You're donating your kidney. That's final. No, Mom. It's not final. It's my body. My kidney. My choice. And after the way you've all treated me, I'm not sure I want to help. The line went silent. Then Mom said something that changed everything. If you don't do this, if you let your sister die because you're petty and jealous, I will never forgive you. None of us will. You'll be dead to this family. Dead to this family. Like I'd ever been alive to them. I hung up without responding. I couldn't sleep after that call. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, my mind racing through 28 years of memories. Every birthday where Sophia got the big party and I got a card. Every achievement where hers were celebrated and mine were footnotes. Every family photo where she was centered and I was cropped out. Sophia was the golden child. Beautiful, charming, popular. Everything came easy to her. She was homecoming queen. Cheerleading captain. Valedictorian. She got into Princeton. Mom and Dad paid her full tuition without question. I was the other daughter. The quiet one. The one who tried too hard and never quite succeeded. I went to state school on scholarships and student loans. Worked 3 jobs to pay for textbooks, while Sophia got a luxury apartment and a new car. When Sophia graduated, they threw her a party for 200 people. When I graduated, they took me to dinner at Applebee's. Just the 4 of us. Sophia spent the entire meal on her phone. When Sophia got engaged, it was a society event. Engagement photos in magazines. A bridal shower with 50 guests. A bachelorette trip to Italy. A wedding that cost more than my yearly salary. When I got engaged 2 years earlier, Mom said, "That's nice, dear," and went back to planning Sophia's birthday party. My fiancé, Marcus, and I broke up before we could set a wedding date. Nobody in my family noticed. Or if they did, they didn't mention it. That was my life. Always second. Always less. Always invisible unless they needed something. And now they needed something. They needed my kidney. And suddenly I mattered. Suddenly I was family. Suddenly I was important. The hypocrisy was staggering. I called my best friend Jen at 7 in the morning. She was the only person who understood my family dynamics. The only one who'd witnessed the favoritism firsthand. They want you to donate a kidney? Jen's voice was incredulous. After how they've treated you? Yep. And Mom said if I don't, I'll be dead to the family. You've been dead to them for years. They just didn't bother to tell you. She was right. I knew she was right. But it was my sister. My blood. The person I'd grown up with, even if she'd never really seen me. What do I do? I asked. That's up to you. But Lily? Don't let them guilt you into this. Donating a kidney is major surgery. It has risks. Long-term health implications. And they're not asking because they love you. They're demanding because you're useful. I spent the day researching kidney donation. The surgery. The recovery. The risks. Potential complications. Long-term effects on my health, my life expectancy, my ability to have children someday. It wasn't a small thing. It was huge. Life-changing. And they were treating it like I owed them. Like my body was their property. That evening, Dad called. "Lily, your mother told me about your conversation. I'm disappointed. Family helps family. Sophia needs you." "Sophia has never needed me before," I said. "None of you have. I've been invisible to this family my entire life. And now that you want something, suddenly I matter." "That's not true. We love you. We've always loved you." "No, Dad. You've always tolerated me. There's a difference. When was the last time you called me just to talk? When was the last time you asked about my life? My job? My dreams? You don't know anything about me because you've never cared to ask. This isn't about the past. This is about your sister's life. This is absolutely about the past. Because the past determines the present. And my past with this family has taught me that I don't owe you anything." Dad's voice went cold. "If you don't do this, you'll regret it for the rest of your life." "Maybe, but it'll be my choice. My regret. Not yours." I hung up. My hands were shaking. I'd never stood up to my parents before. Never pushed back. Never demanded to be seen. It felt terrifying and liberating at the same time. Over the next week, the calls intensified. Mom, Dad, aunts, uncles, cousins. Everyone telling me I was selfish, heartless, evil. How could I let my sister die? How could I be so cruel? Nobody asked how I was doing. Nobody acknowledged that this was a huge decision. Nobody treated me like a person with autonomy and feelings. I was just a spare parts warehouse. A kidney with legs. Then Sophia called. First time she'd called me in over a year. "Lily." Her voice was weak. Tired. "Please. I know we haven't been close. I know I haven't been a good sister. But I'm scared. I'm really scared. And you're the only one who can save me." Something in her voice cracked my resolve. This was Sophia. My little sister. The girl I'd read bedtime stories to when we were kids. The girl I'd protected from bullies in elementary school before she became popular and I became invisible. "Why didn't you tell me you were sick?" I asked quietly. "Mom said not to bother you. Said you had your own life and wouldn't care." Of course she did. Of course Mom had made that decision for Sophia. Had kept me in the dark. Had only reached out when they needed something. I do care, Sophia. But I need you to understand something. Donating a kidney isn't like lending you a sweater. It's major surgery. It could affect my health for the rest of my life. And you're asking me to do this after years of treating me like I don't exist. I know. Her voice broke. I know I've been a terrible sister. I took you for granted. Let Mom and Dad make you invisible. Never stood up for you. Never included you. And I'm so sorry. I don't deserve your help. But I'm asking anyway. Because I want to live. I want a future. And you're the only person who can give me that. I was crying now. You hurt me, Sophia. For years. Every time you got everything and I got nothing. Every time you were celebrated and I was forgotten. Every time you could have included me and didn't. It hurt. I know. And I can't undo that. But if you give me a chance, if you help me survive this, I swear I'll be better. I'll be the sister you deserved all along. I wanted to believe her. Wanted to think this crisis had changed her. But people don't change overnight. And promises made in desperation rarely stick. I need time to think, I said. I don't have time. The doctors say I have maybe 3 months on dialysis before my body starts shutting down. 3 months. 12 weeks. 84 days. A ticking clock counting down to a decision that would affect the rest of my life. I scheduled an appointment with a therapist. I needed to talk through this with someone neutral. Someone who could help me separate my feelings from the decision. Dr. Patterson listened to my whole story. The favoritism. The neglect. The sudden demands. The guilt. The fear. "What do you want to do?" she asked finally. "I don't know. Part of me wants to help because she's my sister. But part of me wants to say no because they've treated me like garbage my entire life. And I don't know which part is right. There is no right answer, Dr. Patterson said gently. Only your answer. What feels true to you? I thought about it. Really thought about it. I think I want to help. But not because they're demanding it. Not because they're guilting me. Because I want to be the kind of person who helps even when it's hard. Even when it's not fair. Even when the person asking doesn't deserve it. Dr. Patterson nodded. That's a beautiful reason. But you need to do it with clear boundaries. Make sure they understand this is a gift, not an obligation. And that giving this gift doesn't erase the past. Doesn't mean you're accepting how they've treated you. She was right. If I was going to do this, it had to be on my terms. I called my parents and Sophia. Asked them to meet me at a coffee shop. Neutral territory. They arrived looking hopeful. Desperate. Mom reached for my hand immediately. Lily, thank you for reconsidering. We knew you'd do the right thing. I pulled my hand back. I haven't agreed to anything yet. We need to talk first. About conditions. Dad frowned. Conditions? Your sister is dying. This isn't a business negotiation. Actually, it is. You're asking me to undergo major surgery that will affect my health for the rest of my life. So yes, we're negotiating. And if you can't accept that, I'm walking away right now. They exchanged glances. Finally, Mom nodded. Okay, what are your conditions? I pulled out a list I'd written. First, you acknowledge how you've treated me. Out loud. Right now. You admit that you favored Sophia. That you made me invisible. That you hurt me. Silence. Long, uncomfortable silence. Lily, this isn't the time, Dad started. This is exactly the time. Because if you can't admit the truth now, I'll never trust that things will change. So admit it. Or I leave. More silence. Then Sophia spoke. They're right, Mom. You did favor me. You always have. Lily deserves to hear you say it. Mom's face crumpled. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Okay. Yes. We favored Sophia. We made you feel invisible. We took you for granted. We hurt you. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Dad nodded stiffly. I'm sorry too. We should have done better by you. It wasn't eloquent. It wasn't profound. But it was something. An acknowledgement. A crack in the wall. Second condition, I continued. After the surgery, things change. You include me in family events. You ask about my life. You treat me like I matter. Not because I donated a kidney, but because I'm your daughter. Of course, Mom said quickly. We'll do better. We promise. And third, you pay for all my medical expenses related to the donation. Surgery. Recovery. Any complications. Any long-term care I need. And you set up a fund to cover potential future issues. Because this surgery could affect my health for decades. Dad hesitated. That could be expensive. You paid $200,000 for Sophia's wedding. You can pay for the surgery that saves her life. He had the grace to look ashamed. You're right. We'll cover everything. I folded my list. Okay. I'll do the testing. If I'm confirmed as a match and medically cleared, I'll donate. But understand something. This is a gift. Not an obligation. Not something I owe you. A gift. And if you ever throw it back in my face or use it to manipulate me, I'm done with this family forever. They all nodded. Agreed. Promised things would be different. I wanted to believe them. But I'd been disappointed too many times. The testing took 2 weeks. Blood work. Tissue typing. Medical evaluations. Psychological screening. They confirmed what we already knew. I was a perfect match. Medically cleared for donation. The surgery was scheduled for 6 weeks out. Those 6 weeks were strange. My family suddenly wanted to spend time with me. Mom called every day. Dad invited me to lunch. Sophia asked me to watch movies with her between dialysis appointments. It felt good. It felt like what I'd always wanted. But there was a voice in the back of my mind asking, is this real? Or are they just being nice until they get what they need? Jen asked me the same thing. Do you trust them? I don't know, I admitted. But I'm doing this anyway. Because even if they go back to ignoring me afterward, I'll know I did the right thing. That I was the bigger person. Just protect yourself, she warned. Don't let them hurt you again. The night before the surgery, Sophia came to my apartment. She looked fragile, scared, young. I'm terrified, she admitted. What if something goes wrong? What if your kidney doesn't work? What if you get hurt because of me? The doctors say the risks are minimal. We'll both be fine. But what if we're not? Her eyes filled with tears. Lily, if something happens to you because of this, I'll never forgive myself. You're giving me everything, and I've given you nothing but pain. I hugged her. Really hugged her. For the first time in years. You're giving me something too. A chance to be the sister I always wanted to be. Even if you couldn't be that for me. She cried into my shoulder. I'm going to be better. I swear. I'm going to make this up to you. Just be my sister. That's all I want. The surgery was 8 hours. They took my kidney and transplanted it into Sophia. Both surgeries went perfectly. No complications. The kidney started functioning immediately. When I woke up in recovery, Mom was there, holding my hand, crying. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for saving her. Thank you for being so brave. The recovery was brutal. 6 weeks of pain, limited mobility, exhaustion. My family visited constantly at first, brought food, helped with chores, acted like the family I'd always wanted. Sophia recovered faster than I did. Within 3 weeks, she was back to normal activities, feeling healthy for the first time in months. She posted about it on social media. Photos of her looking vibrant and alive. Captions about second chances and gratitude. She mentioned me once. Thanks to my sister for her donation. No name, no photo, just a generic acknowledgement. I told myself it didn't matter, that I hadn't done this for recognition. But it stung. By week 8, the visits slowed down. Mom called less. Dad stopped checking in. Sophia was busy getting back to her life. Her job. Her friends. Her husband. I was home alone, still recovering, still dealing with pain and fatigue. Still adjusting to life with one kidney. By week 12, I realized nothing had changed. They were back to their old patterns. Sophia posted about family dinners I wasn't invited to. Mom organized a girls' weekend with Sophia and didn't mention it to me. Dad called to ask if I could lend Sophia money for a down payment on a house. I was back to being invisible. Back to being useful only when they needed something. I called Sophia. We need to talk. About what? I'm kind of busy. About the fact that you promised things would be different. That you'd be a better sister. That this family would change. And nothing has changed. I'm still invisible to all of you. She sighed. Annoyed. Lily, I've been dealing with recovery and getting my life back on track. I can't drop everything to babysit your feelings. Babysit my feelings? I gave you a kidney. I asked for basic respect and inclusion. That's not babysitting. And I'm grateful. But I can't spend every day thanking you. Life goes on. I have responsibilities. So do I. And one of those responsibilities is protecting myself from people who use me. Even if those people are family. What are you saying? I'm saying I'm done. I gave you a kidney because I wanted to be a good person. But I'm not going to keep giving you access to my life when you won't give me the same. I'm done being the backup sister. The spare parts daughter. I'm done. She was quiet. Then, you're seriously cutting us off because we're not paying enough attention to you? I'm cutting you off because you lied. You promised to be better. You promised to include me. You promised this would change things. And it didn't. So yes, I'm done. Mom and Dad will be devastated. They'll survive. They have you. That's all they've ever wanted anyway. I hung up. Blocked her number. Blocked Mom and Dad. Blocked every family member who'd called me selfish for hesitating to donate. Then I moved. Across the country. Seattle to Atlanta. New city. New job. New life. Where nobody knew my history. Where I could be just Lily. Not the invisible daughter. Not the kidney donor. Just me. It's been 2 years since the surgery. 2 years since I cut off my family. They tried to reach out at first. Emails. Messages through mutual friends. Even a private investigator who showed up at my door. I didn't respond. Didn't engage. Just lived my life. And you know what? I'm happy. Actually happy. I have friends who value me. A partner who sees me. A job I love. A life that's mine. I don't regret donating the kidney. Sophia is alive and healthy. That matters. But I also don't regret walking away. Because I finally learned something crucial. You can't give pieces of yourself to people who don't value you. Not your body. Not your time. Not your love. Because they'll take everything and give nothing back. My family wanted my kidney. They got it. But they didn't want me. And I finally accepted that. 6 months ago, I got a message from Sophia. She'd found my new email somehow. The message was long. Apologetic. She said she finally understood what she'd lost. That therapy had helped her see how badly she'd treated me. How badly our parents had treated me. She said she was sorry. That she'd give anything to have me back in her life. I read the message 3 times. Cried a little. Then deleted it. Maybe someday I'll respond. Maybe someday I'll be ready to hear her apology. But not today. Today, I'm protecting myself. Choosing myself. Loving myself enough to say no to people who only love me conditionally. I gave my sister a kidney. I gave her life. But I couldn't give her what she really needed. A sister who would accept crumbs and call it love. A sister who would be invisible so she could shine. A sister who would sacrifice everything and ask for nothing. I'm not that sister anymore. I'm the woman who knows her worth. Who sets boundaries. Who walks away from people who can't see her value. Who loves herself enough to demand more than scraps of affection. My parents favored my sister my entire life. And when she needed help only I could give, I gave it. But I gave it on my terms. With my boundaries. With my self-respect intact. And then I walked away from all of them. Because sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is permission to stop trying to earn love from people who will never give it. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose yourself. Even when it costs you everything you thought was family.